What?
Watch your profanity.
What's up, selectors? It is Select Screen here with what we promised for today, opening night of Nope. I'm going to put that sound in here. Nope. Our Nope spoiler review. Want to give a huge shout out to everyone who checked out our in-theater review. Everyone told us, man, hey, real quick, just like give us what we want. No fill, no thrill, just get us to the review. So that's what we heard. That's what we gonna do, man. We love it. Check us out, linktr.ee/select screen. Make sure to hit that sub button. Appreciate each and every one of you guys checking us out. We're on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Apple, and Spotify podcasts. You can check out Elmo172331 yesterday playing Horizon. I almost said Verizon. Horizon Forbidden West yesterday. And that game is really interesting. It's something I couldn't play, but she's really just knocking it out. I can't do anything that looks like animals hunting me. I can't do that.
Bruh.
That scares me. Speaking of being scared, we're going to get into this Nope review. Spoilers.
Emotional damage.
We're going to get into this Nope movie. All right. So with that being said, you've already liked, you've subscribed, you've hit the follow button. You're excited. I'm ready. You're ready. Let's go. So as we start this thing, man, first of all, I got to give a shout out. We're going to get into the comments afterwards. You guys know how we do it, but we will be, talking and getting through those comments in just a minute. I got to give first and foremost a shout out to RL. RL hooked me up with some advance tickets, both myself and Elmo, to go see this movie. He was super hyped. I remember in the comments specifically, he was like, Nope is going to be the best film of the year. He doesn't feel that way anymore after seeing it. So we're going to get into the comments. I know Wrestling was hoping we were going to do 2K22. We will be getting into that probably next week, believe it or not. We've got a lot of Marvel stuff because of San Diego Comic-Con coming up. CV's here. He says, how was the movie? And DJ says, Daddy is live. Let's go. RL said, don't call me out. Not a call out at all. This is very much a thank you for helping us get to see the movie earlier. So that's, yeah, nothing else. It's a shout out. All right, let's talk about it. I'm going to kind of give my thoughts very quickly, and then we'll jump into the comments. First, we're going to start with the grade for this movie. If you watched our non-spoiler review, I gave this movie a B. My sister Elmo, she gave it a C. Why is it a mixed review? Because I think this movie is going to get a lot of mixed reviews from a lot of different people. This movie is something completely different for Jordan Peele. And
What?
yeah, I know what you're thinking. It is completely different. But for me, this movie was a B. Let's start with the things that I didn't like. I'm one that I don't like scary movies, first and foremost. All right. I'm not a scary movie person at all. But I have, for some reason, put myself through these Jordan Peele movies, and really because I'm part of his target audience, I think. These movies are different. They're more thrillers than they are horror movies, I want to say. Here's the experience very quickly in a nutshell as I'm going into this. I've seen Get Out And I really enjoyed Get Out. I believe I gave Get Out an A. That was another movie that for me, like, it scared me, but it was a thriller. And I really enjoyed the twist. I enjoyed Get Out a lot. On the way to go see this movie, we went and saw it in Denver. We rented Us because I hadn't seen Us, because Us looked just so much more scary to me. And I was absolutely right. Us is a horror movie. And a movie that we'll do a review on. Maybe we'll do some of that next week as well. Maybe we'll have Elmo do it, because Elmo really enjoyed Us. I didn't like Us. I didn't like Us really at all. I didn't like the premise. And I didn't like the hidden meetings in the movie. And I didn't like the way it ended at all. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. So we were about halfway through Us when we actually got into the theater. We almost didn't on an advanced screening of Nope. And so my expectation was Nope was going to be scary. If you remember one of my other reviews, I specifically, spoilers. I specifically said, I don't think this is about a flying saucer. It looks like a flying saucer. It looks like an alien, but I think something is alive. And selectors, give me my camera real quick. I haven't done this in a while, but give me my camera. Y'all, I was right. The thing is alive. It's really a commentary more on like animals and a commentary on a lot of different things. So let me get into the things that, again, I didn't necessarily like. I didn't necessarily like that there wasn't a deeper explanation of what the alien was. I didn't like that. I always like to have strong resolutions in my movies. I don't like being left for interpretation, even though I went to film school. I know that sounds weird, but for me, I just want, tell me exactly where this thing came from, why it's here, why it's eating people. I want to know. And I didn't get that, but I didn't feel like it was failing. What else did I not like about this movie? I thought the side story was a little weak. There's a story that it's kind of building up the Asian American character in the film, and it's about being on set and this crazy chimpanzee and all of this stuff, and it was scary. I think that was the scariest part of the movie, and I didn't see how it connected to the overall. This guy right here, though, Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya, if I'm saying his name right, they killed it. They absolutely, they killed this movie. It was amazing. That their acting was so good. So I'm already getting into the stuff I liked, because overall I really liked this movie. I liked that there was some history behind it. They're the great grandkids of the first person to be filmed, which was a black jockey who was riding a horse. I thought that was very interesting to set that. There's a lot of commentary on this movie, and you have to look through it through this lens. I think the people who don't like the movie are not looking through it through this lens. The movie is, yes, somewhat literal, but it is the tech guy in the movie too. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. The cast is overall, it's great. Everyone in the movie is very believable. How was I going with this? You have to look through it through this lens. Jordan Peele's also, as he's telling a story, he's also making social commentary. And he's done that, I think, in all three films. I think Get Out has the strongest message. But more specifically, in Nope, his message here, he's really talking about what it's like to make a movie and what it's like to make a movie as a black director. And I just really related to that a lot. Being that I've studied film, I went to the Art Institute of Colorado, and just understanding some of the things that you just kind of deal with as someone who wants to be a black director, or just being in Hollywood in general. Jordan Peele, he's just nailing some of this stuff. So that's kind of the undertones of the movie. I just really, really enjoyed those. Now, the movie itself, like I said, it doesn't necessarily come together with a bow. But again, Daniel and Kiki, I forget their names in the story, but their chemistry is amazing. The only time I've ever seen a brother-sister duo like this that was even close, it's not as good, but is in Dexter. Dexter, they have a very good brother-sister back and forth. I think this was even better. Their connection was just amazing. I really believed that they were brother and sister. The big, again, alien, because it's really just one large alien. It was just interesting to me. One thing that really made a lot of sense for me is the title of the movie just being called Nope is very much a Black American response to some of the stuff that happens in this movie. My favorite scene is where we see what look like aliens, and they're just kind of slowly moving, and Daniel just literally just goes, nope. Takes out his camera. He's like, I'm recording this and I'm getting out. Like, that was the most smart thing. That's what I would do in that situation. And I loved it. It just made so much sense. For me, that was probably one of the scarier moments of the movie. But it just made so much sense. And there's so many times where the alien is above him and he's in this truck, and he kind of figures out, if I don't look up at this thing and I don't get out, I'm going to be okay. It's not going to just swallow me up. And he just literally like, nope, just not doing it. He locks the car door, the truck door, and it's just like, I'm just not going to do it. Nope. And I was like, right on, man. This is perfect. That's exactly how I would have responded. So I loved that. I loved that he thought things through. That Jordan, when he wrote this, he thought those things through. I'm seeing some of the comments, guys. Shout out to RL. Shout out to Historical. I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm going to get to comments here in just a minute. Other things that I loved about the movie, again, the cast is just amazing. Everyone in this movie is just totally believable. Our theater got a lot of laughs, and I felt like a lot of the jokes were straight up jokes. And they were just funny. They overall were just funny for me. And our whole theater just kept laughing at some of the stuff that was going on. Going back to some things that were a little weak, there are times where you're kind of going, what is going on? The alien, like I said, doesn't really get explained very well. But I don't, as crazy as it sounds, I don't think it's about the alien. It's really about how people react in dangerous situations. I think that's what Nope is really actually about. And for me, there's some things that could be better. You know, there's a couple of graphic scenes that fell a little short. But overall, I just enjoyed it. I felt like most people who watch this movie through that lens that I said, like through the lens of like, he's talking about Hollywood here. I think you're really gonna like it. And it's not super scary. If you're looking for super scary, I would suggest go watch Us again. But for me, I enjoyed it. All right, let's get into these comments. My man CV says, how was the movie? Again, I think it was a B. I think it's going to be controversial. Some people are not going to like it. For me, I thought this was way better than Us, and I think it was more watchable than Get Out, just because it wasn't as scarier. Arl said, "Don't call me out, emotional damage." Wrestling said, "Can't wait for SummerSlam." DJ says, "Jordan Peele needs to make Yes, which is a comedy parody of Nope." That was pretty good. That's pretty good. RL's laughed about it. Wrestling said, "Hosting again is going to be so fun." Talking to RL. DJ said, "I'm white. I'm his target audience too." Yeah, I wouldn't say it's just made for black people, but what I'm saying is it was more for, I think, for people who like film. That's what I meant by that, I guess. Historical again is in here, says, "Guess who?" It's always good to see historical wrestling, man. RL said, "The tech guy killed it." He really did. I love seeing Fry's electronics. If you know, you know. That was good. RL said, "Oh, okay. That went way over my head. I'm glad I heard that perspective." And Spy Kids. If you watch it through RL, if you watch it through that lens, it's not so much literal. You know what I mean? Historical said, "What's up?" Talking about his project as well. Earl said, "But he brought out the phone. I was assuming he was carrying a gun when he was in the barn. My theater was not reacting as much as it should have." That's interesting. And I wonder why they didn't. I wonder why they didn't respond. Like I said, I think the theater experience does it matters in this movie. It really does. And there were a lot of people I know in our theater that were just like, "It's Jordan Peele, we don't care." They were like super fans, you know what I mean? It was like anytime The Rock does something, people are just like, "I gotta see it. It's The Rock. It's gonna be amazing." So that had to play a part of it. But there were just simple things that, like, every time Kiki was on the screen, she's doing something, and like when they gave the black high five, you know, and again, you don't have to be black to understand that, or for it to be funny, but within our culture, that is just something that it was like, yeah, you know, it was a yeah kind of moment. It was a very much like, "Oh yeah" kind of moment. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's just the way it came off to me. RL said, "I would change it to a B." Okay. Spy Kids referring to bro and sis films. Oh yeah. And I haven't watched Spy Kids all the way through. Or am I thinking of Shark Boy and Lava Girl? That's the one where my daughter watches that like all the time. So I see a good relationship, you know, from the little bit I've seen in those movies. But yeah. It really is a brother-sister story. Like I said, there were still things that I didn't connect until we got out of the theater and we were talking to other groups of people who, again, were of all kind of different nationalities, but everybody kind of came to a general consensus on some things. And I just thought it was interesting. It was really, really interesting what he was trying to convey. And we'll talk about Us, because I want to give the opportunity for others to convince me to change my grade on Us as well. So we'll talk about Us more, but I want to compare Us and Nope specifically, because Nope is just, I think it's going to be more of a commercial hit. I really do, because one, it's not as scary. Two, it's I think coming out of the pandemic, people can understand how hard it is to make a movie now. They understand. We understand when Marvel is running their people, their visual effects crews into the ground. We understand, like, oh man, I get it now. You know what I mean? And so I just think it was timely. It was really timely. And that's not a jab at Marvel per se, but I'm just saying the viewing audience understands more than ever now what it's like to make a movie. And I think that's really cool to make a movie about that in this format. Wrestling Talk was talking about MGK and 2K and Vince. We'll talk about all that stuff when we get back to 2K22. There's a lot of stuff going on in the wrestling world too. AEW, boy, their last pay-per-view was a mess. We'll talk about that stuff when we're on topic there. RL said, did you see an alien head or eyes when the people were being sucked up at Jupiter's claim? You know, I didn't, because I was focused on... I told Elmo immediately, I was like, when they went inside, it looked almost like a carnival ride, you know, like a bounce house, because they were like sucked in there. I was like, that thing is alive. It's not a ship. They're alive. I was right. So I didn't notice any eyes per se, but I could tell that it was organs and that the thing was alive from the jump. Historical says, but you just wait. The day I step into Hollywood is the day horror will be scary, like the first Paranormal Activity type of scary. On topic. I love that, Historical. I don't like scary movies. I was convinced to see Paranormal Activity. I was so scared in that movie. I left the theater and I went into the bathroom and freaked out. That movie was so scary. And I'm glad Nope wasn't like that. I know a lot of people are like, it's supposed to be a horror movie and there's not a lot of jump scares. There's probably 2 good jump scares in the movie. One involving the chimp. One involving the kid aliens. But that kid alien scene, I'm telling you, that was on a different level for me, because what sometimes can be creepier instead of a jump scare is a slow something. Like if I'm talking here and my dog's in the background and he's just like standing there, and then all of a sudden he's like closer and closer and closer, you're like, whoa, I see it, and it's freaking me out and it's weirding me out. It's stuff like that it's scary, but it's entertaining. And I love that. So Historical, look at that, study that, man, and see if you can incorporate that eeriness. That eeriness is what really gets people. RL said, Elmo said something about common sense not being common. And this is where we really differ on our review. This is where we really differ. For her, she felt like the actions in Us were a lot more common sense versus the actions in Nope. And this is where I disagree with her, because I feel like in Nope, there are a few moments of, what are you doing? Specifically, there's a video guy who they call in to use a hand cranked camera, right? And he gets his shot and everything, and they get proof of the alien ship, animal, whatever you want to call it. And then he runs and basically sacrifices himself. And that on the surface does not make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. But I understand more of why he did it because of what he said. When I thought about it, he says there is no perfect shot. There is no beating the impossible. And he gave up. So that was more about his character arc more than it was about making sense. That was it's a good point on her point, because it doesn't on the surface. But if you look a little deeper into who that guy was, it actually does make sense. Arl said, that being the theme, yes, it looked like a bounce house. Wrestling said, I watched the Foo Fighters horror comedy the other day. I heard about that. But that was really like, it was something like satanic, wasn't it? The Foo Fighters one. And that's where I draw the line, man. That's why I had to walk out of Paranormal. Arl said, I didn't sleep that night after Paranormal Activity. I can't do a cold. That's where I draw the line, man. Arlo said the movement of the kids who were in the mask didn't seem like human movements until he hit the kid. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Something else, and I want to encourage you to watch the movie again. Something else that Jordan Peele does just brilliantly is he uses music and comedy in just the perfect ways. Those kids were not moving like normal people, right? They were CG, they were monsters. And that's what made us believe that they were aliens. Then he's like, nope. And he just, bam, he drops one and the kid takes the mask off. And we're like, we have a moment of laughter and all of this stuff. It just took us through so many emotions. And I could really appreciate that as a filmmaker, for sure. Historical says, I love these comments, guys. One of my projects is analog horror theatrical film called TDP, The Daisy Project. Ooh. Anytime you put project after something, I get nervous. Wrestling said it was really good. Talking about the Foo Fighters, it wasn't really satanic. Okay. I thought it had something to do with 666, and I was like, I can't do it. I like the Foo Fighters though in general. I played that a lot of their songs in Rock Band all the time. RL says lenses has a deep meaning because we're always looking into them. Yes, that was another interesting thing, was the lenses of not only our eyes. At one point in time, I thought the ship actually looked like an eye, or I'm calling it the ship, but the animal. The bottom of it looked like an eye. And I was like, is it? Because for a while you don't see the top of it. And I was like, is it actually just a giant eyeball? And then, you saw kind of the flat surface and it was like, oh no, it's supposed to look like a spaceship, but it's an animal. Arlo said the nighttime shots were great. And I loved how because we saw in the trailers where it basically spits out all of the body parts, let's put it that way, onto the house, right? I love how it was similar to a dog in that sense. That sometimes, if you make a dog mad, it's going to go over and it's going to pee on your shoes. And I liked how that metaphor of this thing is an animal. It's a living creature. I liked how it had a creature-like feature. Sorry, a little bit of rap there.
Oh no! We suck again!
Wrestling said, have you seen the new Scream? That was good. No. This is probably let's see. I've seen all of the Saw movies. Well, I should say the first 3. Then it's just, yeah. I've seen the Saw movies. I've seen Jaws. I saw the new Nightmare on Elm Street just to prove that I was not afraid of that anymore. Still freaked me out. I've seen the original Friday the 13th. And then I've seen all the Jordan Peele movies. I don't think I haven't seen a lot of the classics. I didn't see Freddy versus Jason. I didn't see, not that was a classic, but I haven't seen Alien. I've never watched Alien. I've never watched. I think my friends in high school, we were watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it was like 3 a.m, and I was like, yeah, let's turn it on now, to be the brave, cool kid. And then I went to sleep. So that was on, but yeah, I just can't. Wrestling says, scary movies trigger my autism. Do you think I'll be okay watching this movie? Looking for some advice here. Wrestling, for safety wise, I'd say no. I would say no. I don't know how scary the other movie was, the Foo Fighters one. This one, like I said, it has 2 really good jump scares in it. And if that could remotely start your autism, I would absolutely say no. don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I would say, if anything, if you really had to know, I would look up. Sometimes you can get on YouTube, you can get like recaps where they'll just kind of tell you what happens. That's how, that's how I got through the latest Halloween movies. I've never watched Halloween, but everybody was just ranting and raving about it. And so all right, what's the deal? Give me a 50,000 foot view of what these movies are about and what's going on. Because the new one, I think they just dropped a trailer for that. So I understand the story, but I didn't get any of the scares. If you can do that with Nope, or just being here in the spoilers. I mean, in this review, we've basically told you a lot of the jump scares, but I just wouldn't suggest it. I'd never want to see anything happen to you. RL said, so Jupe knew about the ship being there before his bro and sis, because he said they showed up an hour early. Yeah, and that was kind of the thing, was he knew a lot more than I think we even knew throughout the movie until the very end. RL said, what was the Oprah shot? I'm skipping down just a little bit. What was the Oprah shot? It was when it actually came down after him and then it kind of turned over. That was the Oprah shot. And I thought the guy from Fry's, the electronics guy, I thought he was going to miss it because he had to reload the film. And I thought that was going to be the plot twist, is that they did all of that and they didn't get the Oprah shot. They did, but I thought that was going to kind of be the twist. Like, sometimes when you work so hard, you just, you don't get what you actually needed, but you learned a lesson. I thought that was going to be the moral of the story, and it wasn't. Historical says, speaking of Jaws, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make a Jaws game for every console on PC and Mac. There's a game out that came out on PlayStation specifically. It may be on Xbox as well, but I don't know if it's on Switch. And it's, you actually just play as pretty much Jaws. And I tried it again and I started eating stuff and I was like, I can't watch animals eat things. It messes me up. Wrestling says it's good. And thanks so much. That means a lot. Yeah, I like I said, we care about you. Maneater, that's it. Maneater. But man, what if you could take Maneater, Historical, and put the branding on it? Sometimes that branding means everything. You know what I mean? So, guys, that's my thoughts. Appreciate you guys coming through. We have so much more to talk about. I'm in the process also. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm trying to buy a house. And it's been great, but it's taken up a lot of my time. So some of the comments on Discord and stuff like that, like, I'm trying to get back to you guys as soon as I can. Please don't feel like I'm neglecting you. Our like wrestling wants to get into. We still haven't played Fall Guys. We got to get over to the WWE content, WWE 2K22 content. There's so much stuff, and there's a lot of stuff. I know Clue said, hey man, are we not going to talk about Street Fighter? We still haven't talked about Street Fighter yet. So a lot of stuff on the channel. It's just, I got to get to it. But when you're buying a house, as DJ can tell you right now, it takes up a lot of time. People are calling you all of the time. Like, hey, what are you doing? As a matter of fact, my wife's texting me right now. I probably should go. Let me read these last comments real quick. What did you think about the news camera showing up at the end? Any meaning there? Yes, absolutely meaning there. It kind of goes with the guy with the electric bike and the chrome suit, is that they had found something, and how this is a metaphor again for Black Hollywood, that they had something that was going to propel them to being where they wanted to be when they were trying to sell the horses, or when the horses were working in a Hollywood set. They felt like, we've got something here that no one else has. We'll be set for life financially. We'll get fame, fortune, especially with Kiki's character, right? Everyone else, that's why they didn't leave. And that's why it made a lot of sense. Like, most most people with common sense, especially black people, I gotta put that out there. We're running, right? I've had like something fall at my work and it makes a loud gunshot and I'm up and gone. It's like that skit in, oh gosh, what was that? Was that Jack Bud or was that Chappelle Show? Anyway, the guy gets up and he's like, boom! They jump through the roof. It had to be that. They jump through the roof through the stunt. And the black guy's like, I'm not even trying to see it. I'm gone. It's just our instincts, right? Jordan Peele is pulling back the black experience in this a little bit. And that's why they didn't leave and rush off. But they wanted their claim to fame. But outside Hollywood was coming in to kind of come in and try and take that away. Ultimately, being that they had destroyed the alien and everything, I think what it meant was that they did get their, they probably got a lot of money because she got pictures of the thing. And, they ended up okay. Thoughts on SDCC? We will talk about that. My hope is to talk about SDCC, or San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel, tomorrow. Because actually tomorrow is all the movie stuff. Today was all the animation stuff. We'll talk about that stuff. That's my hope, is to have another live stream tomorrow on that. Do you think even with the pictures, they would believe what those pictures are real? I do because of how unique they were. Yeah, it'd be really hard to Photoshop that the way that they did it. Okay, RL confirmed it was Jack behind. Where they jumped through the roof, yeah. Historical said, are you familiar with analog horror? Because that's what the Daisy Project is. I'm not. The horror genre, like I said, this might be my 8th horror movie. And I wouldn't even call this a horror movie. This is a suspenseful thriller, if you ask me. So not very familiar with the genre. But like I said, I enjoyed this movie. I really did. I'll probably watch it again. I probably will. I told my dad about it, who he's just like me. We don't like scary movies. But when I told him kind of the premise of it, he was like, I think I could watch that. So, RL said, if no footage tomorrow, how do you feel? I think we're definitely not getting any footage. I'd be shocked. I was shocked that we got a Groot trailer today for the animation. We may get one trailer. I bet you we get a trailer for something like Blade. Something that's already been announced. Or something on She-Hulk. Everything else will be exclusive there. All our trailer footage is going to come from D22. Or if they call it 23 or whatever they're going to call it. But the Disney thing. If no footage tomorrow, I just want new announcements. Just new announcements. That's all I want. I want to know. There's already 2 patents on Kang Avengers. I forget what it's called. Basically, it's Kang the Conqueror, and then another one for Secret Wars. So if they confirm those tomorrow, I'm happy. I'm happy. Wrestling said, is next Saturday 100% confirmed for SummerSlam? Just to let my mom know. Absolutely. We're in there for SummerSlam, so join us for that. All right, guys? All right, I better get my kids over to their summer VBS camp and respond to my wife. Ooh-wee, I'm in trouble. Give me an ooh-wee right now. If you know, you know, man. All right, I better get back to her. Guys, thanks for checking us out. Make sure to like, subscribe. We're on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Apple, and Spotify podcasts. I think we're going to start doing live streams exclusively on Twitch and then doing the breakdowns over on YouTube. That's where we're seeing the most support financially, is over on Twitch. So that's what we're thinking. Even our data is saying more people tune in when we're not streaming YouTube, where we're actually uploading the video. So you guys let me know in Discord what you think about that. Would you rather watch on Twitch? We can do a lot more on Twitch too. Like I said, the voice changing thing. I know I can add like tic-tac-toe, all that good stuff. All right, guys, do me a favor. Don't say nope to this. Be kind to one another. Remember to choose your destiny. My name is Select Screen, and I'm out.